What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium where I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today's the return of Chrono Cross. I don't remember the last time I heard Chrono Cross. I feel like it's been a very long time, but I don't recall. We have two songs today, Brink of Death and Life, A Distant Promise. Kind of interesting pairing, Death, Life. Requested by Charles and Antis. It's Yasunori Mitsuda, who I assumed from Chrono Trigger. Now, I will say this. I did play Chrono Trigger, and when I played that had universal praise. Everybody loves that game. I can't say the same thing about this game. I feel like, I never played it, but I feel like with this one, people were kind of like split down the middle. Some just love it, some hate it. I don't know. So, let me know what you think of this game. I don't even remember what Chrono Cross sounds like. I just remember the intro theme. That was a big deal when I first heard it. Anyways, this is The Brink of Death from the channel Yasunori Mitsuda. No context on these, by the way. Battle team? Boston. Sounds more Boston battle. I'm gonna look up when this was released. I want to see how long in between Trigger and this. It sounds more CD quality, so I'm guessing later 90s. $19.99. Right before the millennium. So 4 years after Chrono Trigger? I think. Whoa. That was kind of frightening, I'm not gonna lie. This is putting me in such a dire mood. Like, clock's ticking, cut the wire, fight this boss, beat him before 5 minutes, something like it's like a very hurry type of feel. Ooh, that would be a cool VGM Vibes episode. Songs that feel like have a rushed feeling. One thing I noticed right away is that there's way less bass presence in Cross than Chrono Trigger. But I'm not here to compare them. It's just something I noticed. That was one of the biggest things I noticed about Chrono Trigger when I first heard it. Here it's more well-rounded. Slightly more orchestral too. Also, what is this image? Am I underwater? That is devastatingly good for a vocal. Oh, it's over. Yeah, this has to be a boss theme. That's so intense. So, yeah, I try not to make too many comparisons, but this is one of those rare instances where I have a little bit of context, right? It's not every day that I play games that I hear on the channel. It's happened a handful of times, and Chrono Trigger was one of them. That was 2 years ago? Something like that. And I played it at the exact same time as I was playing The Legend of Dragoon. Two big RPGs at the same time. That was so much things I had to retain. Two great games though. So yeah, I don't want to make a huge comparison. It sounds like, I'm just saying I have some experience with Yasunori Mitsuda and the Chrono Trigger series. I do remember hearing Chrono Cross first. I'm pretty sure. The first time I heard anything Chrono on the channel was Chrono Cross. It was Time Scar. I'm pretty sure, back in 2021. And that was a huge request. That was the intro movie. There's another name for that song. It goes by Time Scar, and it's probably Scars of Time, I think. It's like a translation thing. Anyways, this one is The Brink of Death. Well, you know, it's a little vague, but at the same time, It does sound like two distinct things. The first one being a sort of hurry up song, being chased, not necessarily being chased, more like race against the clock type of thing. Which, now that I think about it, that may not be too crazy because the whole point of Chrono is time. Might be of a stretch there, but immediately what came to mind was like Final Fantasy VIII early on in the game where you're being chased by this gigantic robotic spider. It's not a spoiler. It's very early. You know, you got that song, dum 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 da dum dum da dum 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 da dum dum dun dun. It's actually the same kind of vibe as this. I don't know what it's called. Maybe I'll put it in the comments. But if you know, then it sounded a lot like it. It's like the same kind of feeling, except that was kind of a mixture of like this kind of chase sequence and a boss theme, mini boss. This to me sounded more, I would say like 60-40, 40 being like a time hurry thing and 60 being like a boss theme. It sounded like a boss theme to me. That was really intense, you know. And I'm comparing to Chrono Trigger where they have the regular battle theme, dun da 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 dun da da da, you know, just kind of that swing, and then the boss themes are like doo doo, you know. So this one sounded really dark. And again, I don't know why these were paired together. I'm just taking a guess here. And you know what's another thing that I'm confused about Chrono Cross is, you guys can feel free to answer this. So I know of Chrono Trigger, and that was like a standalone thing. With Chrono Cross, I've heard also of there's like a subtitle for it. Rainbow Dreamers? Something Dreamers. Radical Dreamers. Is it Radical Dreamers? I think it's Radical Dreamers. Something Dreamer. Is that the same game? Is that an expansion? Is that a sequel? I don't know. So I've seen multiple like cover arts for Chrono Cross. I don't know which is which. I don't know if this is like the official cover or if this is like an album cover. I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's Blue Flame Underwater. I don't know. But either way, cool song. Definitely boss vibes to me and dire situation. Especially the name of the song, Brink of Death. This is Life, A Distant Promise, and this one's 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Well, it's pretty long. Let's see. Life, A Distant Promise. Interesting title, too. Like, there's no punctuation on, like, life, comma. It's just, like, Life, A Distant Promise. Maybe a translation thing. Interesting enough, this sounds kind of like older consoles, this little part right here. It's got my attention. It reminds me of my favorite song from Chrono Trigger, just Shawla's theme. Love arpeggios. Where is this song going? Are we going ballad? Immediately, it sounds very, very like ending. The build-up, that slow build-up into the percussion. Okay, I'm gonna take a very early guess. Was the last song the final boss and this one is like the staff roll? Whatever's happening here feels very latter half of the game. Like the last 5 hours of the game. This is nice. One question before I stop talking for a while. Was this one all Yasunori Mitsuda, or did he also have help on this one as well? Can't wait to see the comments on this one, because I know this game is very important to a lot of people. This game is like, I think, considered a classic on the PS1. Pretty sure. It's kind of a sad title, Life, A Distant Memory. Bad ending? Don't tell me. Don't spoil anything in the chat. Or comments. Oh, maybe this game has multiple endings as well? And this is one of the endings? I also have no idea if this is a sequel or a prequel or anything. Sounds a bit tearjerker. Pulling on my aortic strings. It feels more despair than content. It sounds like the journey's over, but at what cost kind of thing. What a whiplash. First song made me feel intense and scared almost, and this one just makes me feel bad. Harp. $19.99. And you can really tell the difference between the PlayStation and the Super Nintendo. Even though the Super Nintendo sounded really good, like it just has a totally different sound. 4 or 5 years later, new console, new technology. I feel like whoever's watching this and knows exactly what's happening, they're like, oh, this part, you know, it's like that kind of feeling. I will say this though, there's I don't know if connection is the right word here, but another bit of relatability, if that's the right word. I recently played a game called Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Yasunori Mitsuda is briefly in that game. Like he's been part of Xenoblade, but like trace amounts, like very big songs, like ending, intro, main theme. Very, very. He doesn't do the whole soundtrack. That's usually Ace and Ace Plus, and even Yoko Shimomura as well. Same thing, more like a guest. But in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't know how many he did for that game, but there's one that really stands out, and it's for a town theme. It's a snowy town theme, and the song is called Shadow of the Lowlands. And it's so bizarre because it's like, it doesn't sound like anything else in the soundtrack. It's like this, really. It's this kind of melancholy and sort of drifting and sad, question mark. There's a reason it sounds like that in Xenoblade 2, obviously, but it's weird, you know. I've played 2 games now that I know of with Yasunori Mitsuda, Chrono Trigger and Xenoblade 2. One is, let's just say, 90% him. The other one is like 5% him, you know. I've heard a lot of things he can do. I'm pretty sure I've heard other games on this channel. I can't think right now what else he's done. I know he's done so many things. But it's just interesting, like the 2 things that come to mind. And the vast variety, I guess. Like, for example, even in Chrono Trigger, there was like a lot of genres. Like, it had like its rock thing, right? / Aussie and, what was it, Flea? And then you had stuff like Black Omen, which was really cool. It sounded like Black Sabbath. And the credit song was like really emotional. Like there was just everything. Or then had the Gato song, which is all fun and like sounded like a jingle kind of thing. And then you have stuff like this. Even though I can't remember exactly what every song in Chrono Cross that I've heard sounds like, I definitely can say that there's a lot of variety. I'm remembering Time Scar was different. The last song was different. This one was different. I've checked out Radical Dreamers before. I don't remember what it sounds like, but that was probably different as well. But one thing that I will say though is when I did play Chrono Trigger, I do remember people saying what am I trying to say here? They mostly chose one. They either like Chrono Trigger better or Chrono Cross better. I didn't see too many people saying they like both. I'm sure they exist, but like the consensus I got was like this one or that one, and that to me tells me that they're both very different games. I don't know if they share the same storyline, whatever, but like to me to have that much like split down the middle, like they must be very different. Maybe people expected Cross to be like Chrono Trigger 2, Part 2 type of thing, and maybe this changed a lot. I mean, it was what, 5 years? It makes sense. I'm not here to talk about that though. Anyways, basically, what I think those 2 songs were, it really felt like to me. The first one was like the last half of the game, maybe one of the last songs you hear, and this to me sounded very, very like final cutscene or credits. The length, the name of the song, and the way it started with like that kind of just nothing into a couple notes into a slow like crescendo of percussion. So that's all I got. By the way, I have a lot of Chrono Cross requests. I have a lot. Maybe like 20 or something left. It's just been a while since I've done it, but I have a lot. So the journey continues. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. So thank you to Charles and Antis, and thanks to everyone you see on screen. Let me know what's going on here, but try not to spoil too much. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Have a good one.